In the 1980s, Irene Cara was on top of the world, and just like that, she disappeared. Here's the heartbreaking truth about the famed singer's final days. Irene Cara, the 1980s actress and singer who starred in the film Fame and sang the title song along with the iconic hit Flashdance, What a Feeling from the movie Flashdance, passed away at the age of 63 on November 25, 2022. For a brief period in the late 1970s through early 1980s, she was one of the biggest things going. As iHeartRadio reports, she made history at the 1980 Academy Awards by being one of only a handful of performers to sing 2 songs during the same ceremony. She also racked up a couple of Grammy nominations, a Golden Globe nomination, and a couple lower-tier industry awards as well. For someone who was, however briefly, so huge, her star dimmed almost instantly, and she spent the next several decades in near total anonymity, likely by design, at least towards the end. In fact, as the New York Post reported, so anonymous was Cara in her final days that her neighbors, with whom her relationships were strained in some cases, said they didn't even know their neighbor had once been a major pop star. According to the New York Times, Irene Cara was born in 1959 in the Bronx.
I'm originally from the South Bronx, and I don't think I missed anything.
By the age of 5, she had reportedly learned to play the piano by ear, and by her tweens, she was a busy performer, as the Times describes it. Her big break came in 1980 when she scored the role of Coco Hernandez in the groundbreaking musical Fame. However, in 1985, she sued Al Corey, the head of the label Network Records, alleging that the label had cheated her out of royalties. The lawsuit effectively ended her career. Rightly or wrongly, she was labeled difficult to work with, and that shut down her options almost immediately. By 1991, Irene Cara was bordering on being broke, and her career was effectively over. As People reports, what savings she had, she'd sunk into legal costs in her lawsuit against her former label, and the lawsuit wouldn't be resolved until 1993. She'd sued for $10 million, but a jury awarded her only $1.5 million, and the label never paid it, as they went bankrupt. She'd also left her husband of several years. Wanting a change, she left New York for San Francisco. Cara told People, "I worked on me, my spirituality. I went through my bitter, angry periods because these people took so much from me." The next few decades would see Irene Cara being basically invisible, save for a few unsuccessful attempts at re-entering the music scene. In 2011, she formed a group, Hot Caramel. By this time, she'd moved to Florida, and to hear her tell it, wasn't doing too bad. Cara told the website Songwriter Universe, "I have a beautiful home by the beach, and life is good. These days, I live off my royalties, and I work when I want to, and I consider myself semi-retired. I don't need to work. I make more money not working than I do by working." In her final years, according to the New York Post, Irene Cara lived in Largo, Florida, and was apparently so secretive and reclusive that some of her neighbors didn't even know who she was. Cara's neighbor Roseanne Nolan told the newspaper she didn't talk to anyone and didn't even know it was her living there until a few years ago. It was the best-kept secret ever. Her manager, Betty McCormick, also reported that the COVID-19 pandemic drove Cara into even further reclusivity. McCormick told the New York Post, "She was very afraid of getting the COVID virus. She really struggled during that period." McCormick went on to insist that neither drugs nor alcohol played a role in Cara's death, and that her death was not a suicide. As of December 7, 2022, her cause of death has not been publicly revealed.